What's going on, y'all? I'm back to continue my Dark Souls guide, and this episode, I might as well call it Unforced Errors, or just Death in Abundance, or just flat out stupidity, but you're gonna see me die a lot in this video. So this is just me repairing all my gear. If you remember the last video, I got a bunch of green shit puked on me, so I just gotta repair everything, or it will break, and that would not be good. That's one of the few things I remember to do the correct way in this video. I get a lot accomplished in this video, but it is ugly in getting there. So let's buckle up our safety belts and get down to it. So I was gonna finish the rest of the I think the area after Demon Ruins called like the Lost something of Izalith, but I realized that Siegmeyer's quest finishes in there, and I needed to do something. Oh, this is just me turning in the large divine number. I'm not making any divine gear, but I might as well turn it over to him. But in order to finish Siegmeyer's quest, I need to save his daughter, and his daughter is back in the Crystal Cave area, or Crystal Forest right before it. And just buying arrows. I'm gonna need some arrows when I get to the boss of Los Izalith, so that's when I go ahead and snag them to be on the safe side. And while my original plan was to clear the area of Los Izalith and jack up my Great Scythe to something that hurts these golems and then go back and fuck them up, finally realized, you know what? While my magic doesn't do any damage whatsoever to them, I'm high enough level now where I'll be able to just get through it. It won't be fast and efficient, but I can kill them. So I figured just why not go ahead and find Siegmeyer's daughter and do this area all at once. So I'll be returning to Izalith in the next video. For now, it is time to get this quest along. Now, if you've been watching my whole series, you've heard me mention how in my previous 2 successful full clears of Dark Souls, I have tried and failed both times to finish Siegmeyer's quest. So I'm hoping this time that I pull it off. The big problem I always have is that when I get to the part where he basically jumps in to save you against these giant 4 poison creatures, and if you let him die, then it's over. Anyway, here's his daughter. What you need to do is you need to get these giant like poison creatures, 3 of them down and 1 of them hurt, and then you jump in there, start fighting, and he'll jump in there and he'll save you, and then all's well. And so the first time I totally fucked it up. I just let him jump in there and fight them, and they killed him because they poisoned him. The second time I went in there and I accidentally hit him because I was playing on a faith build, and I threw a lightning bolt at the creature he was fighting, and the lightning bolt hit the creature, but it also electrified the water around them. So when Siegmeyer got hit by the lightning bolt, he got pissed at me and started chasing me, and I couldn't get him to de-aggro. And perhaps I could have left the zone and then gone and requested absolution and come back, but I didn't think of that at the time. At any rate, I'm going to try and get it right this time. So just doing a quick run around this area. I'm not going to fight every single crystal golem just because my spells don't do dick against them, but there are a few little items in the area to pick up. Hey, these guys are super easy to fight, but I just don't have the patience for it when I could, and it was not even really worth the souls because I could be farming souls more quickly fighting things where my spells actually do damage. And there actually comes a point in this video where I briefly press pause and do something off screen where basically I needed some souls, so I run back to the painted world of Ariamis where you have all those giant slime dudes with shields and spears, and I fuck them up for a bit, just farm a few thousand, but there's no reason on earth for you to watch me do that crap. No real reason for you to watch me do this stuff either, but if you are watching this as a guide, I just want to show you where all the gear is so you can do a full clear on your own. Yeah, just dodge those guys' punches, and they are super easy. And if you are a pyromancer, or if you're a faith build, or a strength build, or a dex build, they go down super easy. I just happen to have the one build that doesn't do a goddamn thing to them. And my weapon is an enchant weapon, so it also won't do a goddamn thing to them, so there's just no reason to mess with them. I could go fight those guys, but I just ain't gonna, because it's not worth it. I can't, perhaps something spawns after you kill them, I don't think so. But it would take me 10 years to kill those 3 guys. So moving over to the corner, I couldn't quite remember if there was a piece of gear in this corner or not. So I'm just doing a quick little you know, reconnaissance. So there's the crystalline gear, which I've never even bothered to put on. I think it's really, really strong, heavy gear, but breaks pretty quickly. It has almost no durability. But if you want to look fucking awesome, and then, you know, but only have protection for a short period of time, go for it. So I've gone now into fast forward mode, which means nothing really is going to happen. So bop, 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 bop. He's punching me in the face because I'm bad at video games. I picked up a Titanite chunk, a blue Titanite chunk specifically, which I do need. My knife or dagger is at enchanted +3, so I need a few blue Titanite chunks to get to +4, and then I need a blue Titanite slab to get to +5, and that'll max it out. I'm just checking to see who that is. Because his summon sign is in that weird little corner, I can tell he's trying not to get noticed. When people do that, they tend to be placing their summon sign in a really specific spot where it's hard to see, but they've told a friend of theirs online, hey, this is where I am. And so, in general, if you see someone's summon sign in a kind of weird spot, just leave it alone because you're just messing with their plans. But they're trying to get summoned by a buddy there, so... Anyway, back in the crystal... Well, actually not back. On this playthrough. For the first time in the crystal cave. And I'm just going to run past anybody I don't absolutely have to fight just because I'll just be wasting spells. The thing about crystal cave that's weird is that it has a lot of invisible walkways. And as you can tell, these little like snowballs or crystals that fall from the sky, when they hit invisible walkways, they leave a little poof. And that way you can tell where the invisible walkways are. Another thing you want to have when you come in here is a shitload of prism stones, because if you're ever like debating whether or not a walkway is there, because for whatever reason, when you do stop to see if one's right in front of you, for whatever reason the snow or crystal snow stops falling there and you can't really tell. Those moths, they will attack you, but you have to get real close before they take an interest in you. So if you leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. And so I leave them alone. I remember my first playthrough, I would like shoot them with arrows from a mile away. It took 10 years because they start flying around and they never land. They fight a lot like the moth boss that I killed with Witch Beatrice way back when, but they just never land. So bring in your prism stones, and some of the walkways I've memorized, some of them I have not. And I'll leave it to you to decide when I'm going to fall off some of them, because I do fall off some of these invisible walkways. Whoever designed this room was on crack, because it's just not fair. Now, the end of this solid walkway is a little weird as well, because while it is solid, it has a sliding kind of slope thing. So even if you're walking along straight, you will just slide off the edge because people at Dark Souls are just insane. So, what I like to do... Well, if I had fire or a proper weapon, I would just fight him down there. But because I don't, I am going to lure him up to firmer footing. Because on my test build, when I ran through here, this motherfucker killed me and knocked me off. And I don't feel like getting knocked off, so I'm looking for the walkway real quick. I'm kind of confused, and so I just wing it. I'm like, oh shit. But so I got lucky as fuck there, because I could have easily run the wrong direction. I just happened to see that message that was on the ground that allowed me to get oriented. Players who are nice will leave a little message periodically to kind of give you, help you find your bearings. So I'm back on firm footing now. Now I can fight this guy. Quick water break. As you can tell, even my most powerful spells aren't hitting this guy for a goddamn thing. They're just barely scratching him. But luckily, this big fucker, once you kill him, he won't come back. There are some that respawn every single time, but the big, strong ones like this guy, once you kill him, they're done. So anywho, moving on. Run back down this path. So coming up is a cool but annoying spot, because if you are doing taking a magic weapon or an enchant weapon to its max, you're gonna find your blue Titanite slab, which is huge, because I think there's only 3 in the whole game that are guaranteed that you can't just like farm, and the drop rates on the ones that you can farm for them are really, really low. So you drop down to that area, you immediately turn around, and there's 3 crystal lizards in here, and so if you have a big like a claymore or a great side, you can just swing it sideways and probably kill 2, maybe 3 of them all at once. I don't have that. I got my little single spell attacks. If I'd been smart, actually I couldn't have been smart. If I'd shot a crystal soul spear, which I didn't have because I used them on that golem, sometimes the crystal soul spear will go through enemies. So this is me fast forwarding, killing these guys real quick. There are not that many crystal lizards left for me to get in the game, but I'm also getting to the point where I don't really need that many more mats for the gear that I want to upgrade. But I'm just in case, I'm just killing them. So this room has one big, giant, invisible walkway that I've never successfully gone through, because in all my previous playthroughs, I never needed a blue Titanite slab. My first clear was with a Pyromancer / Dex build, and my second clear was with a Faith build. So I needed other stuff. So that blue Titanite slab just seemed like a giant pain in the ass to get, and this is just a giant room with an invisible path. You can either watch the snow and find your path that way, or you can drop prism stones. And if a prism stone lands on something invisible, it'll create a little glowing ball, and if it misses, it'll just drop down to the cliff, down to the area below, and make a little weird sound. So I'm just trying to conserve them just in case I need more of them, and I'm just looking at the area trying to watch for the snow. So you can now watch with me, but it actually is making my hand sweat doing this room because I fucking hate falling. It's just such a giant pain in the ass, and then you got to run all the way back down here, and it's just such a fucking waste. At least the prism stones leave a little pretty colors where you drop them, but yeah, that is why I bought a ton of them early on. They just it's all just for this room. I mean, you can use them also in the catacombs when you're trying to drop down that hole to unlock that blacksmith, but otherwise those are the only two uses of prism stones in any walkthrough. But it is the blue Titanite slab. Another one that I know for sure is in the first zone of the DLC. Apparently there's like one in a lake, I think, or a little pond, but I can't remember. But I'm not in the DLC yet, and I want to finish my knife. And I believe there's a third one. I remember looking it up, but I just can't remember. So yeah, I'm just feeling my way along. And then once I'm done with this dagger, I'll probably start upgrading my great scythe just for fun, because my ability scores are getting close enough to be able to wield that big curved instrument of death. Anyway, I hope y'all are as riveted by watching this as I am. I probably could have fast forwarded this, but I just feel like y'all needed to see every little bit of paranoia and suffering that I subjected myself to. I have no idea what the shape of the path is, because it zigzags. It goes left, then right, then like left and straight or something like that. And I just had no idea, so I was just totally paranoid. Yeah, see, that one just fell. I think one of the things just fell all the way down, so I'm kind of freaking out. The way it zigzags is confusing, because you think you've got solid footing in front of you, when in actuality you don't. So I'm taking a good long hard look. I'm so close, I feel like I can just run and jump, which is exactly what Dark Souls wants you to think, because that means you're gonna die if you try that. Safe footing, getting so close. Oh yeah. But yeah, when you're gonna play a Dark Souls walkthrough or just a full playthrough, it's always a good idea to kind of figure out in advance which kind of character you want to play and what kind of weapons you want to use, because in almost every Dark Souls game per playthrough, you have the mats to jack up 2 or 3 weapons all the way to their max. So beyond that, you're going to be having to do some farming of some mobs, and that's just a giant pain in the ass. No one wants to do that. So just kind of figure out, I want to be a big-ass battle axe wielding dude, or I want to be a big-ass halberd wielding dude, or I want to be a little, a stock or rapier, and just figure out what kind of character you want to play, plan ahead of time, because there are so many different movesets and so many different weapons that are a ton of fun to play. But if you know you want to be like a thin little dex build, like sword-wielding guy, like a rapier or an S-stock, look up just which one's the strongest. Because there's always one that's overpowered relative to the other. One that has like an S scaling for the ability score, or one that has a really, really great like power move. So once you know which weapons you want to use in advance, then you can just plan accordingly. And I knew all along I wanted to do dagger on this guy, because I'd never done dagger on any Dark Souls character ever, and I thought it'd be a fun experiment. And I've actually enjoyed the dagger. It's awesome for backstabs. It's fast as hell. I mean, if you're in a tight corner, you can just stab. I mean, especially when you've got slow spells, it's nice to have a short little thrusting weapon for up close to have in contrast. So I'm just running back to where I was. There's no reason for you to see all this crap, so I'm fast forwarding. Yeah, I homeward boned out of there because I did not want to have to walk in slow motion back across the invisible walkway. Most of my prism stones would have still been there, but they do disappear after a little while. But I just felt like that was such a giant colossal waste of time. So moving on, there's a couple more invisible walkways I need to use, and there is a one more blue Titanite chunk that I can grab before we head on to the boss. So that walkway down below is where the blue Titanite chunk is, And that little, well, not little, that's another big giant golem. If you kill him, he won't respawn. So I'm just going to drop down on there. But, as you can tell, that walkway, one side is a good side to stand on, the other side's a bad side to stand on. They both look flat, but Dark Souls, I mean, the guys who made this game are such fuckers. They just decided that one incline is slightly too steep, and you just slide off to your death, and the other's just fine. They look almost the same angle, one's slightly more level. So I lost my souls. Yeah, that's so annoying. Especially because I'm going down there to try to get a blue Titanite chunk that I don't even fucking need. Because at this point, I've got more than enough to finish my knife, and I'm not going to jack up any more magic or enchant weapons. So it's kind of stupid. But once again, I'm trying to show where everything is. See how I'm sliding there? That's once more just the evil masterminds of Dark Souls being weird. So that is where I fell. I'm not seeing my souls, which is really annoying. But I don't know why they're not there, because this is where I dropped, and that guy's just waiting for me. Imminent fall. Yes, no shit. Anyway, as you can tell, that area below has got, you know, kind of flat and less flat. Don't drop onto the less flat. And this is me just experimenting, dropping a prism stone, trying to figure out where this ledge ends. And I still got some. So, let's do this shit. God damn, where are my fucking souls? They must have, like, gone, I don't know, maybe they're in the cave with the little where the crystal lizards were. So dropping down, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing here, because I do something really stupid. There is a path that leads back up to the previous area, and I just had to run and bluff my way. You never want to just improvise in Dark Souls, because that happens. And then now I've lost 19,000 souls, which is basically half a level, because I was rushing and being dumb. So that's just infuriating. When you rush in Dark Souls, it works to your advantage. It just leads to stupid decisions made on the fly, and you pay the price. And it's, you know, everyone's going to make stupid decisions from time to time, but there was nothing making me do that. I could have planned ahead or just not dropped down. But the fact is, I shouldn't have dropped down to fight that guy. If I wasn't going to fight him or turn around immediately, I was afraid he would knock me off. But I should have planned where I was going to go ahead of time or done some research, because I had a ring of sacrifice on, so that I got my souls back. Then if I fell, then I'd be fine. But anyway, I didn't have any souls to lose that time, because I can see the green thing back in the level above. Although, you know what? I bet those souls would still be there, because when I died with the ring on, maybe the souls stay. I'd have to check that, but like if you lose your souls and you're going back to reclaim them and you put on the ring of sacrifice and then you die, I wonder if that doesn't count in terms of making your souls disappear. I'll go back and check that in between this video and the next, because I bet those 19,000 souls are still there. Because actually, no, they're definitely not there, because in this video I die like fucking 6 more times to completely retarded stuff that I should not die to in the Duke's Archives that I already cleared way back when. But as you will see, that was not the first time in this video where I rush, so there is some imminent death. So I'm on the safe side of this area now. There are these giant clam things that you saw before in the Ash Lake, or Ashen, is it Ash Lake or Ashen Lake? Anyway, the giant clam things that are good for farming Twinkling Titanite. What I'm doing right now is I'm just checking to see which of my gear has the best curse resist, because this boss coming up, Seath the Scaleless, has a breath weapon that has a curse attack, which, as we all know, turns you to stone. It fucking sucks, because then when you die, you've got half health, and so that really sucks. So what you want to do is put on a ring that we should have at this point to resist curse. And you want to put on any gear. Luckily, the gear that resists curse is pretty damn similar to what I'm already wearing. And yeah, as you can tell, it's just the maiden set. And the maiden set, I got it way back when. And plus the chest piece, I've already jacked up to the max. So it actually works out very much to my advantage to go into this fight. Actually, it was very easy to make the adjustment. If you're playing on a dude, I apologize. You're going to have to dress like a chick for fighting Seath the Scaleless. Perhaps the Curse Bite ring is sufficient, and you can just maintain or cling to your sense of masculinity, but I recommend putting on the full outfit. You could probably also put on a shield that has curse resist, but because I'm going to be using my catalyst to cast spells a lot of times, my shield doesn't really matter, because I'm going to be relying upon my gear and my ring. So I'm just running past these fuckers because I don't feel like wasting my spells on them when I have a boss to fight. That would be a giant waste of resources. The thing is with Seath the Scaleless is that Seath the Scaleless has permanent regeneration powers, as we saw the first time we met when Seath took my ass out and put me in jail. So what you need to do is you need to kill that little crystal, and that little crystal will make Seath vulnerable temporarily so that you can actually hurt the big bastard. Another thing to keep in mind is that Seath the Scaleless has a weapon that you can chop off its tail to get. I try and fail to do it, because I think you just need to be able to hit the tail once real big and hard, but I only have my little dagger, and I lose interest after a little while. But just most dragons or creatures with tails in the game with other bosses, if you hit them in the tail, you're going to get a weapon. It's just kind of a given. But I don't get it because after so much death, or unnecessary death, I was just in the mood. But here's one thing I didn't realize, is that those fucking clam things chased my ass in here, and now I've got not only a pretty powerful boss, I've got 3 extremely powerful mobs in here who are chasing my ass around. And so I actually accidentally kind of put this fight on hard mode. So you're going to see me fight 3 of these guys and see the scale time. But one thing I saw immediately was that his breath weapon was hurting them. So I just feel like, or what I figured out very quickly was I just got to stay out of their way and not let them one-shot me or bite me, because they can definitely do that. And just let them finish him off with the breath weapon. So as you'll see, point except for when I let that tail slap me. Alright, so the boss fight, he has massive tail swipes where he swings back and forth. He's even also got another one where he like swats it down vertically, which does way more damage. He's got his breath weapon. I don't know if he's got like a claw attack or a grab attack. I don't ever stand still in front of him long enough to see, but as you can tell, he keeps putting his breath weapon down. If you just stand there and the shit he puts on the ground, you will probably get cursed or take a bunch of damage, and it's just pointless. But at least he killed off the 3 bad guys. So this is me just pretending to try to take out the tail. I'm just doing nothing with my knife. I probably could have kept with the dagger. Problem is, I'm getting hurt by the breath weapon, but also I have no armor, or barely any armor. So his tail swipes really hit me like a truck, and I started getting nervous about just not winning the fight. So I decided just to go ahead and start blasting some spells. Just circle, blast, circle, blast, circle, blast. If you are in melee, you can just circle and hit the tail, circle, hit the tail. I just don't have that luxury. Or I do have that luxury, I just have a pretty weak weapon. If I had a big ass pole arm of some kind or greatsword, that'll be a different story. I love playing with great swords and halberds and any giant long weapon. It's weird that I never really play with like the big, huge, like, oversized ones where like kind of like the Final Fantasy style swords, but that are like as big as a boss. It always needs to seem like it's in proportion to me, or I don't know, it kind of takes me out of the game. It's just a personal thing on my part. Maybe I'm just dysfunctional. But I do enjoy playing with the Claymore. I do enjoy playing with the Halberd. And I do enjoy playing with Gates. Oh, yeah, Gates. All badass weapons. So just hitting the tail a few times. It moves you around a bit. And I think I'm about to get every little shit swatted out of me. See, I think when it's hitting down like that, stay out of the way. Or that happens. It's just, it should be obvious. But sometimes, smart. Still hit the tail. I started getting real nervous about having to do this thing again. I was much more interested. Whatever the weapon is, I'm sure it doesn't really matter because I've already decided which 2 weapons I'm doing this playthrough with. So it's kind of immaterial. It's not one of my catalysts that I need, and as a sorcerer, getting great catalyst is all I really care about. That is the goal, is to have the best staffs possible. And the best staff in the game I get after Logan and I go to war mano a mano. My former teacher and I are going to have a little sorcerer battle. It should be epic. So I think at this point I'm just losing patience, ready to kill Seath. Seath basically has no health. He's a pretty simple, easy boss. Just avoid the breath weapon, avoid the tail, you're good to go. And finish him up. Get him! It's also the weird thing when I watch a video after I've recorded it, and it's kind of like in third person, I get frustrated with myself because it's almost like I kind of forget that I'm watching my own playthrough. I'm just trying to get back to the big tail and not use the wall and swap. See, that slap right there hit me for like 2/3, and I know, oh shit, if he hits me with one more of those, I'm done. So that's when I realized it was business time. So, sorry, Seath. That's what you get for betraying your own kind. As we all know from the lore, Seath betrayed his own race of dragons to help Gwen become the Lord of Cinder. Or, beyond that, I get into trouble trying to figure out what the lore is. I hear all the dead bastards that he helped me kill, which was nice, and so I get a free Twinkling Titanite out of that. I don't know if I'll need any more for upgrading my gear, but it's just nice to have them in case I decide to. But yeah, 60,000 souls is not bad either. Little bonfire action, and you do have this available as a warp zone once you use it. So if you want to come back here and just farm Twinkling Titanite until your eyeballs bleed, you have that option. You can teleport out, teleport back in, and you've got like 6 or 7 of those little clams, and you can upgrade whatever gear you like to its max. That is totally up to you. I just went ahead and decided to spend some of the souls because I just, in case something kills me, I just don't feel like losing any more souls. Because I lost 20,000 souls earlier, I'm kind of in a little bit of a bad mood about that. Anytime I lose a legitimate amount of souls, I just think of how much time it'll take to farm them back, and so I get annoyed. Granted, 20,000 souls is not that much in the grand scheme of things, but it's still a loss. It's half a level at this point, and I'm trying to get all the levels that I can. So because I didn't kill these guys on the way in, real quick, I'm just going to farm them all. I'm going to take off my Curse Bite ring. That is no longer necessary. And put on my Sorcery ring. And I'm just going to kill them just to show you where they are, how many there are, and what the kind of the farming route is. And I'm also going to put back on my superhero outfit. Purging Stone is amazing. If I do get cursed again, I can use the Purging Stone to get rid of the ill effects. Yeah, Curse in Dark Souls 1 is just no joke. And as you can tell now with my Sorcery ring on, 3 spells or 3 Great Soul Hours are killing these guys, which is nice. Yeah, they're pretty easy to fight. The only thing you don't want to do is let them get within melee range. Or if you are in melee range, circle and attack them. I doubt they can be parried because what the hell are you going to parry? So you just circle and backstab and slash them and that sort of thing. And they are worth a decent amount of souls, but yes, you can tell. It's like, it looks like almost like a 50% drop rate on there's no way it's 50%, maybe I'm just getting lucky, but you can farm enough Twinkling Titanite to max out an entire set of gear probably in like 30 or 40 minutes if you fall in love with a set of gear and you've used up all your Twinkling Titanite. So yeah, it is an option. And there's one final one back here in this corner, and he's pretty easy to take out. Boom, 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 boom. So here is the thing moving forward on the rest of this level. This is especially important for sorcerers. Once Seath is dead, then the dialogue of Logan changes a little bit. And once you buy all the remaining spells from Logan, the dialogue changes dramatically. And at that point, he goes crazy because he's been reading too many books. I hate to say it, but Logan just goes to the dark side and goes completely insane, runs back up into Seath's room and basically gets naked and starts just flipping out. And then you have to go up there and fight him. And that allows you to get his staff and a really, really powerful, awesome sorcery spell. So what I'm going to do now is, for some reason, I'm going back to the Firelink. I think I'm going back. I don't know. Maybe I think I'm going back to check the other sorcerer first to see which spells he has for sale, because I know there's still a Soul Spear left that I want to buy, because I do want to go at least into the DLC. Oh, and also there's Siegmeyer's daughter. So when you're talking to Siegmeyer or his daughter, be careful, because if you answer any of the questions dishonestly, it can mess up the quest line. So don't start pounding A, because if you start pounding A, you're going to automatically say no when really you want to say yes, because she's asking, have you seen my papa? So I'm going to run down real quick to the magic blacksmith and finish up my dagger. And this is something I've never done in the game before. I've never had a maxed out enchanted weapon.
Hey, hang on. Is that
there he is. Oh, and he's making fun of the flame ember that I've got. That flame ember I still haven't taken down to the catacombs. So enchanted dagger +4. I still got plenty of blue titanite chunk, but anyway, boom! I got an achievement. Enchanted weapon. Very nice. I don't even know why achievements are in Xbox. I guess some people care about them, but when I was in World of Warcraft, I was religious about achievements for about a year, and it kind of ruined my life, because this was summer of 2010 where I became convinced that achievements actually mattered, and I spent so much time farming the most obscure achievements. And some of these achievements required 24 other people involved, or 10 other people involved, depending upon what raid achievements they were. And it's just an incredible how much time and energy and effort went into it, and how sometimes I would, like, you know, you could like hire some of the best guilds in the world. I remember there's a guild run by Kriparian, who was on the Usandra server at the time. And Kriparian's still a very, very famous professional gamer, but he basically made his guild available where if you paid a certain amount of in-game gold, he would divide amongst his players, and they would take you off to like kill a boss or farm a piece of gear or do whatever. All right, so this is just me looking at the stuff he still has for sale. Homing Crystal Soul Mass is a badass spell, especially for PvP. And I need just a few more souls. So it is this point where I'm going to go to the bonfire, go away. You'll see my souls change. It's just because I go to the Painted World of Ariamis, farm the souls, and then I come back. But yeah, going back to the whole achievement thing, I was so invested in the World of Warcraft that I was spending dramatically more time in the world than I was spending outside. And it was definitely fun because it was right at the peak of Wrath of the Lich King. The raid content was a ton of fun. I had a really, really great circle of friends on there, and we were all totally invested in. If you're surrounded by 10 or 15 people that are also equally invested, what seems like madness after the fact seems totally normal from within the bubble at the time. But I remember on my small server, Usandra, I was one of the people with like the highest number of achievement points of anyone. I even had the Insane of the Membrane. That was called a Feat of Strength. So yeah, now, as you can tell, my souls have gone up. I'm coming back. I'm going to buy his final spell. You can see he's starting to lose his sense of time. And now I'm going to talk to him again, and he's going to have changed his tune. Look at that. Curses upon you. How dare you disturb me, little fucker. But yeah, he's gone completely nuts now. He kind of thinks the library is his. He's gone bonkers. I don't know if he's gone hollow or if he's just gone crazy. I'd have to look up the lore. At any rate, hanging out in this environment has driven poor Big Hat Logan completely bonkers. So now I'm just logging in and out again just because, yeah, that makes him disappear. He has now gone back to Seath's chamber. Now this is where the video starts to get interesting because I just start playing like I've never played before. I mean, I came through here already when I was way lower, and I cleared everything just fine. I didn't die, but for whatever reason, I'm going to play the first attempt in real time. I just start dying left and right to trash, the stuff that I should never die to. But it's because I start rushing and I let them gang up on me. And these crystal dudes, I mean, they hit like a truck, and I have no armor on basically, so I guess I've got it coming. We've all got it coming, as Clint Eastwood once said in Unforgiven. At least I think that's, yeah, that's the line. There's like the young outlaw, or not outlaw, the young bounty hunter is kind of crying and talking about his very first kill. And he's like, well, I guess he had it coming. And Clint looks at him and is like, we all got it coming. Anyway, great line, great flick. I loved Unforgiven. I got into Unforgiven even before I got into studying movies. I was an idiot there. I rolled past the handle. There's a handle that I pull to make the elevator come back down. That elevator takes me back up to Seath's room. So now I've got to fight all these assholes, and there's just so many. And I start shooting over their heads, and I'm letting them hit me. They're channelers in the room, and when the channeler starts spinning and dancing, they jack up the powers of the people around them, and it's just errors compounding upon errors. So, but I never finished my thought about achievements. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if any of y'all play Xbox, is there any point to achievements in Xbox? Like, do you ever get like a discount on like a month's billing cycle, or are there like tournaments or anything like that? I mean, is there any actual like justification or end reward for farming a bunch of achievement points across different games? Because obviously one game might be super easy and you could farm a bunch of achievements out of it, whereas other games are insanely difficult. And I remember the thing with like World of Warcraft, the achievements were a big deal because say you wanted to be invited into a group that was going to try to take on a boss, they could look at your character, kind of look at your player status, look at your achievements, and see what kind of player. Like, oh shit, this guy's killed such and such boss under such and such circumstances. He must be a bad motherfucker. So then it actually really made sense. So I'm just wondering if there are any games for the Xbox where other players will or will not invite you based upon your achievements, because otherwise getting achievements is just a giant colossal waste of time. And I just died because I'm not so smart. And the channelers are pretty tough. They have huge melee, and they hit for a big wide arc, and the reason I'm appearing in Honor Orlando is because when I went to Painted World of Ariamis, when you leave Painted World of Ariamis, you know how you go through that painting, it automatically spits you out on the other side of the painting, and the closest bonfire is down there by the Darkmoon Blade, so I ran that way. So when I died, that's why I appeared back there. So that's just a quick explanation as to why I seem to reappear at the wrong bonfire. But I'm just going into pure fast forward mode because I'm just so annoyed with myself for dying to dumb shit. And for whatever reason, I seem to be taking a long time chilling at this bonfire. Anyway, bring the elevator down, and then I'm back in action. But yeah, whenever I do 2 videos in one day, I always make mistakes. I should have just been playing Dark Souls 3 and just playing for fun. And I've decided that while I get ready to do my Dark Souls 3 walkthrough guide as Sorcerer, and the reason I'm doing it as Sorcerer is because there's going to be a bunch of new sorcery spells in the DLC. It'd be cool to have that. Although, there may be a bunch of Faith spells as well, so maybe play through his Faith. Just when I played through his Faith when Dark Souls 3 first came out, the spells were so weak and so shitty, I just didn't have any fun with it. Whereas Sorcery, at least in PvE, it was really, really strong and overpowered. So, I don't know. I might just do Sorcery. I don't know. I can't decide. But for fun, I think I'm just going to play through as Pyromancy because I haven't done Pyromancy at all yet in Dark Souls 3, and I haven't played with any of the spells. And just to relearn where everything is, I need to do one, like, just walkthrough for fun that I don't record. And that way I can kind of get my shit in order before I try and actually record any videos. Anyway, so that's a long way of saying when I'm tired or confused or impatient, I shouldn't be doing videos. I should just be doing stuff that doesn't count, like practice. But this is what I need to do. Pull the handle, bring the elevator down, and now I can go up to Seath's room where fucking Big Hat Logan is just completely off his rocker, as you'll soon see. Yeah, I need to look up the lore and figure out why he lost his shit so badly, but it reminds me a little bit of kind of the influence of the old gods or elder gods in World of Warcraft that are always making certain aspects and dragons and gods and things like that go crazy. Like anytime you spend too much time near Cthulhu or Yogg-Saron, they would be a horrible influence and make you lose your shit. Same thing happened to Big Hat Logan. Something's made him lose his shit. But he's decided, I don't know, that it's just, this is the room where he wants to chill. I don't know if there's like some secret up here that he's looking for, because it's like a big, I think it's like a big frozen library, I think. Or not frozen, but covered in crystal. I think it's kind of like the last stuff in here. But there he is, wearing no pants, because it's that kind of party. He's still got his hat on. So anyway, I killed him, he killed me. That's what you call a Mexican standoff. Or not even a Mexican standoff, because we both fired. It was a Mexican standoff that neither one of us is fired, but he set up those little balls above him that are great for PvP, and the 5 of them were able to kill me. So that was annoying as hell, because I died yet again. But 2 of my shots killed him. I was worried that my Crystal Soul Spear wouldn't do any damage, but the Crystal Soul Spear did just fine. This is me rushing again and I'm on the wrong level because I am not an intelligent person. Going back down. God, when these guys get their shield up and stand in the hallway in the way, it's just so annoying. Now I've got bad guys all around me shooting arrows. I panicked and rolled off because I was getting surrounded. Back on the elevator. Yeah, when you get a couple of these guys on you, you are so fucked. Now, I'm convinced that I got screwed out of some souls here because he and I killed each other at the exact same time. And when I get my souls back, I get my souls back, but I don't get any extra souls that I should have gotten for killing him. So there must have been a glitch of some kind. The fact that we both died at the same time. So not only did I lose my souls from when I fell off that stupid cliff, but I got fucked out of the souls of killing Big Hat Logan. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there aren't any souls, but I feel like he's one of those guys that should have been worth like 30 or 40,000. But we'll never know. But he did, and I picked up from him the 10 Crystallization Catalyst, which does have an S scaling, which is awesome. As you can tell, it does have a good magic adjustment. My damage will go up. So I might temporarily make that switch. Yeah, put it on that sucker. It looks kind of cool too. And I've been like, Beatrice's Catalyst is a good catalyst, and it's just as good as the regular Sorcerer's Catalyst. I think it just looks a little cooler, but it does have an A scaling. This crystal one has an S scaling, which is as money as it gets. So it looks more like a club than anything, but my spells definitely would do more damage wielding this sucker. Now I've got the large magic ember, so if I were to take a weapon up to the max in magic, then I would have the option to max it out. But I'm not going to do that because I've got my enchanted +5 dagger, which is all I'm going to need on the magic front. But I think now I could take a weapon to magic +10. I might be wrong on this, but I was doing some research on it. I believe enchanted +5 is more powerful than magic +10 if your intelligence is maxed out. I always say maxed out's 99. Maxed out really 60 because that's kind of like the soft cap where you don't really want to go past. I think the real soft cap for everything's like 40, but you start getting serious diminishing returns by investing more souls into your ability scores past 60. And really, unless it's like your main like prime requisite or your attribute for your class, you don't really want to take anything past 40 because you do start getting diminishing returns. So it's better to be a little bit more well-rounded and just have one stat that's super jacked up. But like I said, I believe if you have an enchanted +5 weapon and intelligence 60, your weapon will do more damage than if you have magic +10, but someone smarter than myself or more well-versed will be able to tell you more than I. So that soul is pretty cool. That soul's worth 20,000 souls, Soul of a Great Hero, which is nice. I'm very close to passing another level. Yeah, moving right along, and this is me being an unintelligent person because what I'm about to do doesn't make any sense, because when I died, if you die in this room, you automatically appear in the jail no matter what. And when I got killed by Big Hat Logan, I appeared in the jail. I forgot that. So when I used my Homeward Bone, it takes you back to the previous bonfire where you were, which is the jail one. And the jail one sucks because you can't use it to warp anywhere. There are a couple of bonfires that don't allow you to warp. The jail one like that, so you have to run back through this fucking shithole. It's not a shithole, but I'm just tired of it at this point. And there's the first bonfire in the Painted World of Ariamis, which also doesn't allow you to warp. You have to go all the way through Painted World of Ariamis before you can leave it. So it doesn't do you any bit of good to use a Homeward Bone back to either of those bonfires if those were the last you hit, because you're just going to have to repeat yourself. So this is me getting shot on all sides. I'm starting to rush. Got bad guys chasing me all around. People in front, people behind. So this is me starting to really panic because I've got 43,000 souls, which I don't want to lose. And I got 4 crystal dudes chasing me. So this is the face of fear. Now I've got 5 on me. I'm so screwed. This is just no bueno, as it happens when you rush. And man, if I had been recording live, it would have been embarrassing because I screamed like a child. Yeah, I've decided that I should never record myself live ever, because if anybody that I know in real life, friend or family, heard the way that I scream by myself when I do something stupid and make an unforced error, they would come over and just unplug my Xbox and never bring it back to me. Like, you lost all your gaming privileges because you lack the emotional maturity to play like a responsible person. So, yeah, I like my post-game commentary the way I do it. Luckily, I didn't die like an idiot, so I got back to my souls. So I will be able to put those suckers to use. And god damn, these guys fucking hate me. Chandlers and archers shooting you from different angles. I don't know, when I came through here beforehand, I seemed to do it better when I was weak. I think it's just because I'm rushing. So I'm putting a point into dexterity. I'm getting dexterity at 13. So once again, I need my dexterity at 13 and my strength at 14 to use the great scythe. But this is awesome. It's the sage robe, the traveling gloves and boots, the big hat, and Logan's catalyst. It is the best catalyst in the game. So I'm going to equip that sucker. It doesn't look very cool, but Logan's catalyst is an S scaling. It's fucking awesome. If you plan on casting sorcery spells, whip out that bad boy, and your spells will do a lot more damage. So now that I've got that catalyst and intelligence 60, my spells are maxed out. They're not going to do any more damage the rest of this playthrough than they already do, but that's fine because they are hitting like a goddamn truck at this point. So I'm just putting on his outfit because I'm just playing a little dress up. The hat is totally ridiculous, but apparently, according to some people, his outfit, it's a little heavier, but in terms of light gear, I think it scales better than any other light gear. I see a lot of people when they do their playthroughs, when they get this outfit, they eventually decide to upgrade it. So might want to do a little compare and contrast, but I'm not going to wear it just because it's a little heavier, and I don't want to put any points in having to carry more gear. Plus, I just like being a glass cannon, and I like my superhero outfit that I've come up with. But this is really, really, really good light armor. Also, I don't think it looks good at all on a female character. It looks way better on a dude, but on a chick, it just looks terrible. So it's time to start swapping out some pieces and putting back on my manchette. I think that's what they're called. But yeah, traveling boots, I just want to see what they look like. Not a good look, especially if you're hollow. I mean, it's basically a person dying wearing a diaper, and so that's not the outfit I'm be rocking out. I'm going back to my super cool black shiny tights. Yeah, that is way better looking. I mean, that's the thing with this outfit. Even when I'm hollow, I still look pretty damn cool. So, taking a bow. Video's over. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Talk to me on Twitter @Colbrax. Thank you so much for watching. So long.